Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant, disinforming this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sipple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, my bad on, I'm sure a lot of people was maybe expecting like the Jesuit stream tonight. So that is my bad, but I just didn't have time, bro. I didn't have time. Did the stream the debate last night, did the after show. Worked some, so slept, woke up, worked. Then I jumped on Jeranism Friday Lounge, and that turned into a 5-hour stream. So I just simply didn't have time. I don't want to cover a subject that important and rush it. So, I picked something that I find to be important, relevant to recent events, and something I know I can just talk about. And then I'm thinking about what we're going to do. I'm going to cover some of this. Maybe we'll make this a every Friday night thing, at least, right? I'll drop the StreamYard link in the chat, and then I'll add people in the stream, and we'll chat. So we'll try that out. Maybe even add like 4 or 5 people at once or whatever. So we'll take call StreamYard style, and you can jump on video if you would like or not, whatever floats your boat. So again, my bad. Like I said, I only have so much time, and I didn't want to do a disservice to the Jesuits. That's such a heavy subject, I want to make sure I get it right. So there's that. To be fair, I didn't actually promise a certain day or anything, so we're going to be okay. So I guess the housekeeping ordeal, if you want to support the channel, links in description. Patreon, XRP address with the XRP tag. Heads up, if you send XRP, you have to put the tag in there. So I had someone try to send it without the tag. We got it all figured out. They refunded them, and then Cash App,
and PayPal at Whitsitt@protonmail.com. And of course, all support is appreciated. I don't think I have any donations to shout out that are new. Let me check, make sure. I do not. So yeah, if somebody does send a PayPal, which is at Proton Mail, you can send a message. I'll make sure that if you send it during the show, I'll read it by the end of the show. I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. If you send it between or after the show, I'll read it in the next stream if you want me to. Just put in the message that you do. Blah, 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 blah. So, all right. Tonight's stream is everything is electrostatic. And of course, I mean everything. So, to be frankly honest, like I've talked about the debate and the subject within so much over the last 24 hours that I'm over it. But I'll cover some basic things. So I guess I should preface this with I don't want any part in any animosity or infighting. We're fighting a incredibly huge battle. We're basically fighting the whole world, and we're fighting on behalf of the world, about the world. And so we need to understand that, like, if we all agree that gravity, as they have told us, whether it be mass attracting mass, that's pseudoscience that's been outdated for over a century, or the bending and warping of conceptual abstractions, which is obviously pseudoscience, we all know that's nonsense. We all know that heliocentric model told us it's nonsense. But I'll cover this briefly. Sorry if some people are kind of overhearing it. Trust me, I can relate. But very simply, when you say that things fall down and it's just because of density and buoyancy, density equilibrium, this is not the entirety of the explanation. It is certainly an efficient explanation because we can practically demonstrate a manipulation of the density of the medium will in fact change directionality. Simplest, easiest thing to understand. You throw a beach ball in there, it falls down. You swim to the bottom of the pool, you let it go, it goes up. The density of a medium can indeed change and affect directionality. But to then make the leap and claim a definitive claim of that is the only causal agent, that is the primary cause, the only cause, you can't do that. You simply can't do that. This is because you can't exclude electrostatics. Now we know that electrostatics is going to result in an electrostatic attraction, certainly as it pertains to incoherent mass, which is what the Earth would be. Again, mass is just a conceptual abstraction or reification. I'm not going to get too technical. I'm not going to talk about this too much. I'm not interested in debating it anymore, to be honest. This was pretty frustrating for me. I took the debate in good faith. Don't get me wrong. I think that Brian was respectful. QE did an exceptional job moderating. For the most part, people that even thought I was wrong or thought he was wrong, they were typically respectful. I like both guys. I think this guy was right. Whatever. Like, that's cool, right? Agree to disagree. But I have not in any way come to the conclusion that I'm wrong. And I pride myself in intellectual honesty. And so when I went into the debate, if no one's seen it, doesn't matter. But, if someone had given me sufficient answers to my questions that still remain unanswered, then I would have conceded. So the questions are, can you name any compilation of matter that exists that isn't electrostatic? Can you name anything? The reason this is important, guys, and I'm so confused as to how it's not being understood, is because if anything accelerates to the ground or goes up and it's inherently electrostatic, that is, by definition, electrostatic acceleration. There is no way around this. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know what's being lost in translation. If something's electrostatic, as is everything, and then it accelerates, it's electrostatic acceleration. There is no way around it. Okay, now, It's important to understand electrostatics is super, super weak. So it is not a sufficient rebuttal to say that gas goes in all directions. I know. I've been flat smacking with that very thing for 5 years. Obviously, gas goes in any and all directions completely refutes the nonsensical claim of the model that they purport is reality. Dismantles it. This is because, of course, the necessary antecedent to gas pressure is a physical container. You cannot have gas pressure without a physical container. So when they say that gravity contains the gas, it's preposterous. It's lunacy. We can prove this is lunacy because if you let gas out at the surface level, it will disperse in any and all directions. So to claim that gravity is strongest, closest to the center of mass, and then at the surface closest to the center of mass that you can actually get to, that's accessible, it doesn't impede in any way the omnidirectional dispersal of gas that seeks equilibrium instantaneously. It is preposterous to claim that way further away from this hypothetical, completely unfounded, pseudoscientific center of mass, where it's way weaker, would somehow cut back on and prevent gas from filling the available space. It's actual lunacy. But I'm not making that argument. Obviously, once again, I have flat smacked people for years with the very argument. If anyone follows me at all, whether it be on Discord or any of my debates, this is one of my primary debates. This is how we take space away, right? I'm not claiming that electrostatics contains gas. It doesn't. We can demonstrate this. Electrostatics is super, super, super weak, bro. And in fact, again, as the incoherent mass gets bigger, the attraction is disproportionate, which means it gets weaker. As it gets bigger, it gets weaker. Now, typical with these little light bearer worshiping little secret kings, they inverted it. They flipped it on its head. Now, this is not just because of a metaphysical motivation, but it is a reoccurring theme that they always invert everything. Their very religion is founded upon the inversion of everything. But that is not necessarily why they did it. Why they did it is because electrostatics doesn't help them out in their little fairy tale model. It actually dismantles their model, right? Because as incoherent mass gets bigger and gets weaker, and the Earth is incredibly big, it could never be strong enough to make giant bodies of mass orbit around each other in this magical physics-defying medium, natural law-defying medium, right? So they had to say that as it gets bigger, it gets stronger. So we can bend the immensity of oceans around this cartoon spherical ball around the exterior, right? Brought to you by Jesuit priests. So we get it. Surely we all get this. I'm not going to read the comments yet. Surely everybody gets this. Please do me a favor. I'm pretty exhausted with all of it. So if you don't get it, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just don't comment. Just don't do it. If you don't understand it, don't comment. Okay? Because one of the reasons I was hesitant to take the debate was because I was afraid that if I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it, which I apparently did not, that people would start to argue against it, but not understand the argument. And to a third party, this will be a very bad look for flat earthers. And by the way, guys, we're all on the same team. I didn't want to be a part of that. But I thought, okay, this is a simple enough concept. Everyone will get it. Everything's electrostatic. If you can't negate electrostatics, you can't claim acceleration to the Earth or up away from the Earth isn't electrostatic because you didn't negate it. So you can't make that claim. It's completely unfounded. It doesn't. I'm not sure what's not being understood, to be honest. Okay, but I took it in good faith. Apparently, there was some type of animosity that built up to the debate. I knew nothing about this. I didn't know that there were this was a representation of other people and we were going to battle for them. I didn't know anything like that. Apparently, that may have been the case. I took the debate in good faith. And in either way, like I said, I have no primary or real specific contentions or complaints about how it was moderated. Certainly, it was moderated quite magnificently. It was a breath of fresh air. I think we did a good job of demonstrating how actual adults can have a conversation while they disagree, being respectful, allowing each person to finish their points. And on that part, I think it's a very good thing. I don't want to fight. I simply do not. I've gone through a lot for Flat Earth. I think that should speak for itself. I've taken all kinds of bullets. I've had to turn down a really good job offer because they asked me to take my Flat Earth content down, and I refused to do so. So I had to turn it down, which is not really something that makes a lot of sense for me financially, like at all. So this isn't like, oh, feel bad for Austin, right? I'm just saying I think that should speak for itself. That should earn enough respect. I show my face on camera. People know my name. It's my real name. People know where I live. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for the truth, trying to get the truth out. That, like I said, that should speak for itself. Okay, and I have mad respect for anyone that does that. That shows their face on camera. People know their real name, and they go take all these bullets constantly. It's mad respect. I know all about it. It's not very easy. Those that don't do that, they won't understand until they do it. So anyway, without the whole soapbox, the fundamentals of this, and I will pull up some sources for you. Nothing I'm saying can be disputed. None of it. Nothing I've said is disputable. And if it is, you would have to voice specific contention. So what in the world isn't electrostatic? What isn't? Okay. Now the Earth, its surface has a negative charge. This is objective. The air, it has a positive charge. We can also demonstrate objectively that what will happen when an object seeks equilibrium is it will migrate from positive to negative. The Earth is negatively charged. Okay, the Earth is a dielectric plane. This is objective. Now, the Globers will say it's not because they don't think the Earth's a plane. Well, we all know the Earth's a plane. Earth's a dielectric plane. It's negatively charged. Okay, so sorry if some people didn't want to have to hear this rehashed, but I just feel like I have to do it, so whatever. Also, super cool thumbnail, huh? Lightning's dope. So, let's just start with this. All right. This is from Boston University. I obviously shouldn't have to tell you I don't believe in the nonsense that they say in part of this article. We'll go through it. So, part 1, we can find the gravitational attraction using the universal law of gravity. This is what we call pseudoscience. Okay. The electrostatic attraction between the two is given by Coulomb's law. This is what we call actual science. Okay. Now look at the equations. Do they look similar to you guys? Well, of course they do. The very supposed gravitational equation is nothing more than a hijacking of the indisputable phenomena of electrostatics. This is Coulomb's law. It's been demonstrated in so many ways I can't even begin to explain it. So what this says is both are really small forces by everyday standards. Well, electrostatics is because it's real. But notice how much bigger the electrostatic force is. So what this tells you is that in their own admittance, okay, electrostatics is way stronger than they claim gravity even is. So the electric force is 10 to the 39th power times stronger. Gravity seems negligible in comparison. Well, gravity is negligible because it doesn't exist. Okay, so I've explained to you guys that electrostatics is damn near negligible in and of itself. It's incredibly weak overall, right? And they admit it's way stronger. They even claim gravity is. Guys, this is why it's so frustrating. This dismantles them, and people just want to act like it doesn't exist. Now, here's what they say. This is a very small scale, okay? Obviously. Jeez Louise. So all matter is made up of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Presupposed material nature of the subatomic scale, but we'll move on. Even though the neutrons are neutral, the protons and electrons can interact through the electrostatic force, which, as we just saw, is stronger than gravity. Again, because gravity doesn't exist. Yet, somehow, gravity determines how most matter moves around the universe. What? Oh, Austin, why would you ever go to a debate and talk about this? Why would you feel so like strongly about this? Well, because it dismantles. It's just another nail in the coffin that is heliocentrism. That's all it is. Same thing with the ether, guys. Same thing. But I digress. So they admit that electrostatics is way stronger. Even though the neutrons are neutral, the protons and electrons can interact through electrostatic force, which, as we just saw, is stronger than gravity, again, because it exists. Yet somehow, an inexplicable somehow, gravity determines how most matter moves around the universe. It, of course, does not. What they claim the universe is pseudoscience. The reason is that over length scales much larger than the atom size, the charges in each atom cancel each other out. And even if they're sitting there neutral, they have a resting electrostatic potential. They have a resonance. It's a static field. So all atoms have the same number of protons and electrons. So from far away, they look neutral. But they are not. And they have a resting electrostatic potential even if they were. Therefore, the small contribution from gravity is all that remains. So they say that at these vast distances in supposed space, and as the matter gets way bigger than the size of an atom, which, by the way, is a conceptual idea, it's 99% empty space, but I digress. So therefore, the small contribution from gravity is all that remains. This is just a baseless assertion they've had to make to somehow stake heliocentrism. They know electrostatics is not only way stronger, it's the only one that can truly be demonstrated and isolated empirically, scientifically, and that it actually gets weaker as an incoherent mass increases, which most of academia doesn't even know because they don't even know how to define magnetism, and this was done intentionally. People think that magnetism is only incoherent or only coherent magnetism. This is just patently absurd. Now, to try to explain it simply, I'm getting comments like, this is too technical. I thought I've done a really good job of simplifying it right now, but if I haven't, I can't do much more. Let's see. When you rub your feet on the ground and you touch something and you shock yourself, electrostatics. When I take a balloon, rub it on my head, stick it to the wall, electrostatics. You take a Van de Graaff generator, you move it, you increase motion, you're going to increase electrostatics. Everything's electrostatic. My phone right here, this is electrostatic. Guys, you see my phone? Electrostatic. That's electrostatic acceleration. Until you can demonstrate to me that this isn't electrostatic, which it objectively is, then when it accelerates, since it's electrostatic, it's electrostatic acceleration. They hijacked the equation. They literally hijacked the equation, make a baseless assertion that even though it's 10 to the 39 times stronger than they even claim gravity is, and once they go into their fairy tale that defies natural law, all of a sudden it just overtakes it. I promise, just believe us. So there's a bit of an intro to that. Surely everyone understood that. I'll read the comments in a second. I'm just trying to break this down. So let me screen share this other screen. All right. Okay, so the electrical potential gradient of the atmosphere. Let's see if I can zoom in for you guys. So on an ordinary day over a flat desert country or over the sea, as one goes upward from the surface of the ground, the electrical potential increases by about 100 volts per meter. Thus, there's a vertical electrical field of 100 volts per meter in the air. The sign of the field corresponds to a negative charge on the Earth's surface. This means the outdoors. That means that outdoors, the potential at the height of your nose is 200 volts higher than the potential at your feet. You might ask, why don't we just stick a pair of electrodes out in the air at 1 meter apart and use 100 volts to power our electrical lights? Or you might wonder if there's really a potential difference of 200 volts between my nose and my feet. Why is it I don't get a shock when I go out into my street? Well, we answer the second question first. Your body is a relatively good conductor because literally everything is. If you are in contact with, that means even insulators, they're electrostatic. If you are in contact with the ground, you and the ground will tend to make one equal potential surface. Ordinarily, the equal potentials are parallel to the surface, that's shown in figure 9.1a, but you are there, the equal potentials are distorted and the field looks like somewhat as shown in 9.1b. So you still have very nearly zero potential difference between your head and your feet. Very nearly. Okay, hence the negligible part that I keep saying, damn near negligible. There are charges that come from the earth to your head, charging the field. Some of them may be discharged by ions collected from the air, but the current of these is very small because the air is a poor conductor. So I'm not going to just read all this off to you. Electrocurrents in the atmosphere. The Earth's positively charged. The freaking Earth is negatively charged. And in order for things to seek equilibrium, they migrate to the negatively charged every single time. Every time. This includes what's on the Earth, guys. Okay? So, well, why does gas go in all directions? The elastic velocity, thus the energy, is so much stronger than this incredibly weak force. It has no bearing on its fact that it can just disperse omnidirectional with infinite vectors, instantaneously seeking equilibrium and filling the available space. Okay? We have to have a container. We have to. You can't have a gradient without a container. Okay, so moving on. What is lightning? Because one of the claims that people say is wrong with this, I'm not going to debate or mention anyone's names personally. So what supposedly is wrong with this is this doesn't occur in nature. So we show the Van de Graaff generator where you can manipulate electrostatics. And as electrostatics increases, it will affect directionality. So I guess that means that if we can't get outside of the Earth and we can't manipulate the electrostatic resonance of the Earth itself and then make everything flip upside down, then I guess electrostatics doesn't affect things. You would actually have to get outside of the Earth and then increase the electrostatic charge on the firmament so that things would then change directionality. We obviously cannot do this. So basically the rebuttal is under the pretense of an unfalsifiable idea that since I don't walk in the woods and find a Van de Graaff generator, this isn't showing us that electrostatics affects directionality. It is preposterous. Electrostatics isn't a naturally occurring phenomena. It literally is. It's all in nature. It's in everything that is nature. Everything. So you want to talk about, we need a naturally occurring phenomena. How is literally all of them ever? Does that work? So what is lightning? Clearly a naturally occurring phenomena, right, guys? Okay. What is lightning? Lightning is the result of the buildup of electrostatic charge in clouds. Positive and negative charge separate, negative usually towards the bottom of the cloud, while positive goes to the top, which I just described to you guys. Very simple. After a certain amount of time, the negative charge leaps, connecting with either another cloud or even the ground relating to electric fields. The stronger the field, the more likely lightning is attracted to the ground. If field lines are closer together, the field in that area is stronger and plausibility of a lightning strike is higher. None of this is complicated. Right? It's simple. So the electrical discharge from a cloud will travel the path of least resistance, hence seeking equilibrium. So every single thing in the world is about pressure mediation. Whenever I drop my phone, okay, there's nothing physically impeding this. It wants to seek equilibrium. Pressure mediates. Now it's at rest. Pressure has mediated. It has sought and achieved equilibrium, and it's now at rest. If I remove the physical impedance of my legs, it's going to fall down to the ground, which is a new phone. I'm obviously not about to do that. So very simply, everything is pressure mediation. Everything seeks equilibrium. Relative density is a major, maybe even primary components of it, right? So again, since electrostatics is so incredibly weak, density is a huge factor. So whenever Sleeping Warrior takes his cup and he puts an egg in it, and then he pours salt in it, increasing the density, and the egg rises. It does indeed rise because of the manipulation of the density of the medium. But is that cup electrostatic? Is the water electrostatic? Is the egg electrostatic? How about the salt? Is it electrostatic? The answer objectively to all four is yes. That means that yes, you manipulated the density, which determined the directionality, but you cannot exclude electrostatics. And of course, I will just say, I find it to be a bit hypocritical to be like, we don't see this in nature, when we literally do. It's called lightning strikes, but I've never seen an egg dropped in a glass of water and then table salt added to it in nature either. And I don't have a problem with his experiment. I think it's valid. It follows a scientific method. He's presuming the cause of density being the effect of directionality, and he has manipulated that presumed cause, right? So he has a hypothesis and a null hypothesis. I have no problem with it. No problem with it. I don't need to walk outside in my front yard and see a glass of water with an egg in it where salt falls from the sky, lands into the water, and then we can see that it's changed. It changes the directionality, right? But everything's electrostatic. So here's the point. When you try and straw man this argument by saying, oh, but this and that about density and equilibrium, this and that, density, buoyancy, dude, that's within this argument. That is my argument. You're making my argument stronger. You're not arguing against me. You're not refuting me. That is part of my argument. I don't deny relative density. That would be foolish, in fact, insane. But we live on a plane Earth. If you claim something as bold and, dare I say, ignorant as there is literally nothing else at play, the sole independent cause of directionality is density relationship, then what's implicit in your claim is that up and down are relative. That's what globers say, because they say, well, down just relative to the center of mass, and they have to claim this idea of gravity getting really strong with really big mass so they can explain omnidirectionality around a ball and the immensity of oceans bending convexly around the exterior of a spherical surface. Okay, sorry, sometimes I just do that. So up and down is not relative. It's objective. There's up and down. Left, right, that's relative. If I turn around, it's changed. Because it's relative to my direction, right? Cardinal directions, right? They're all relative to north, clockwise and counterclockwise, relative to perception, right? So the difference here is up and down. That's objective. We live on a plane Earth. There's objectively up and down. Why? Well, for one, God made it that way. This is how the Earth was designed, okay? So it was designed with an objective up and down. So you can just stop right there. You can say that there's up and down. I've heard people say that up and down is relative. Please do not go around saying that and then saying you're a flat earther. I'm sorry. That just isn't true. That is preposterous. It is not. But there's up and down on a flat earth. Now you can just skip past it and say, look, if we manipulate the density of the medium, I can validate that it'll affect directionality. You are correct. Whenever you make a vacuum chamber, all you're doing is manipulating the density. So, hey, welcome to our side. You're just helping us out. Stupid globers. I've said that probably 1,000 times. I agree. But the point is, there's naturally up and down is not relative to the center of mass, right? It's just objective. And the question is, how is there up and down? Now, you can say, well, just God made it. Well, yeah, God did make it, but he made it with a very meticulous and amazing design, and everything that exists is interconnected with a quality that connects us all, and that is electrics. The electric nature of everything is intertwined. It's intrinsic in nature itself. Everything is electric, electrostatic, specifically dielectric. Everything. Okay? So that gives you up and down. That's where you get down, right? As a bias. It's electrostatic. The Earth is a negatively charged dielectric plane, right? And so things that are in a positively charged environment will naturally want to seek equilibrium and migrate to the negatively charged dielectric plane. Now, what the problem here that seems to be, people seem to think that what we're saying is the ground is sucking this phone down away from my hand with all kinds of immense force, like the globers say. And that's why people panic, because they're just like, this is about gravity. No, it's not. This is so incredibly weak that if I manipulate the density and it's less dense than the air, the density relationship, the buoyancy, like say with the helium balloon, it's going to go up, right? Okay, but is helium electrostatic? Is the balloon electrostatic? Is helium diamagnetic? Okay, so you have to understand that saying, oh, gas goes up in different directions, that refutes your claim. It literally does not. That only enforces my claim. That's part of my argument, okay? So hopefully that's broken it down for you guys. I don't want to even have to go much deeper than that. I'm going to come talk to you on the chat. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link. Y'all can just come in and chat. Open discussion. I don't really have any more plans. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask them, but make sure you fully comprehend what the argument is. When for example, when we invoke the gravimeter, Are we saying that the pseudoscience that they come up with relative to the gravimeter is true? No. I guess that I do have to go in great detail because I wasn't able to do it in the debate, and let's just do it. Okay, so it's the speed of light. Does interferometry use the speed of light? Yeah, yes, it does. Okay. Now, does this mean that the quantification methodology is inaccurate? No, it does not. Okay. But yes, you are correct. There isn't a constant speed to light. In fact, light is instant. Light itself is instant. Instantaneous action at a distance. Light, how do you explain that? How do you explain instantaneous action at a distance? Well, when you shoot a laser through a different medium, how would it slow down and speed back up without breaching the conservation of momentum, without an external additional, source of energy being introduced? You couldn't. They'll do mental gymnastics. They'll say it never does slow down, all this crazy. I don't want to hear the pseudoscience. No one cares, dude. I disagree. We can agree or disagree if you think that when I turn the light on, physicality of material particles came out. I just don't agree. But the point is to say that I'm somehow stamping Einstein's special relativity claim of a constant speed of light, which predates him, right? But he absorbs because he stole everything. That's all he did, was steal other people's stuff and change the conceptual backing of it. But he has been, of course, made infamous for this supposed claim. 1905 special relativity, 1915 general relativity, both completely pseudoscientific fairy tales, math magic. It's all nonsense. We all know that. So speed is travel from point A to point B. I do not think light does that. So I don't in any way stamp the speed of light because it doesn't have a speed. But what we do know is there is a consistent illumination rate of the phenomena called light. And we have measured that to such an intricate, you can say we've calculated it, fair enough. You have energy introduced, and then the sensor, when the light comes back, right? Whenever the illumination is visible towards the sensor will actually pick up the energy back on it, right? You can measure the amount of time, and technically you will calculate exactly what the distance is. So you can correlate this with distance because we know to a very minute point of precision how long that illumination rate takes. We can use this to build things, right? You can use lasers to set a foundation of a house when you build it. The quantification of the speed of light cannot be challenged, right? Because in the local replicated scale, it is consistent whenever you control the variable of the medium, right? So we know what the illumination rate is within a very, very small window of error, right? But it isn't the speed, and I don't think the photon is material. I think all the claims of material particles on the subatomic scale, I think, is pseudoscience. I've never seen one. I've never seen one picked up. I don't think you can. The need to quantify has led into people quantifying or attempting to quantify the material. This goes into something else. This is where I admit it's speculation. I can't validate it. I can't bottle up the background medium that I think is there. I cannot do that for you guys. I do not claim to scientifically have validated the ether, whatever you want to call it. I think that there's observable phenomena that can only be explained with it, like virtual particles, virtual photons, instantaneous action at a distance, the photon going through the water and speeding back up, going through the glass, speeding back up. Whenever I take a neodymium iron boron magnet, and then we know that the reach of the magnetic field is just a couple feet in each direction, but then I put an old school TV 80 yards down the street, and I introduce a vector by moving the magnet back and forth, it will make the TV glitch out and start going crazy. But how? Because the magnetic field only goes so far. So how did that energy go all the way to the TV? Well, it rippled through some type of medium. So you can claim that things can propagate without a medium. Something can propagate through nothing. I don't buy any of that. I'm sorry. I find that incredibly illogical. It stems from the devotion to the religious vain superstition of heliocentrism. That's why the background was thrown out. Objectively, that's why it was thrown out, right? So that's a whole side discussion. So when I say I didn't think anyone was ready for me to jump in that in the debate, I didn't. That wasn't the topic of the debate. I wasn't going to go into the ether, and I admit that I cannot practically demonstrate or validate ether, right? I can't bottle it up. I can't manipulate it physically. I can't. But with electrostatics, I can. So when people keep on saying you're just making pseudoscientific claims, you got no practical demonstration, this is patently false. Everything is electrostatic. Literally, I can rub my feet on the ground right now and go prove it. You can't bring me any material I couldn't do that with. Everything is electrostatic. So that is proven. Lightning, naturally occurring phenomena, electrostatics. Where does it go to? The ground. We have to ground things on the earth. What does that mean? There's a charge on the earth. This is objective. The earth is negatively charged objectively. We know all this. This is all scientifically valid, and it all has naturally occurring observable phenomena. So when I invoke some man-made tool that we use, that doesn't mean the naturally occurring phenomena has gone out the window, right? Whenever I take a ruler and I go measure something, well, the measurement isn't science. Measurements describe, math describes, science explains, but that doesn't mean what I measured is no longer a naturally occurring phenomenon. If I go measure a plant, if I go see how tall a plant is, because I pulled a ruler out, the plant is no longer a naturally occurring observable phenomenon. That is preposterous. So when we use tools, certainly for quantification, that isn't science, math describes things, but I did not invoke the gravimeter to say that it was scientifically validating a cause claim. Never, bro. That's preposterous. I didn't even invoke it to substantiate a cause claim. That wasn't even what it was invoked to do. It is, in fact, invoked to challenge your cause claim if you say it's just density. That's why it's invoked, because we controlled the variable of density. We control the variable of the density of the medium. It did not change. So when the acceleration changes with the same medium density, it's the same density of the medium, but the acceleration changes. You cannot say it changed because of density. The density didn't change. Okay, so the gravimeter is only invoked because of the precision of, if you want to call it calculation to be specific, sure. The calculation, the calculation of the change of velocity, the different rates of acceleration. So if you don't know, it's a little box, okay? It's vacuum sealed inside of it. Again, I'm not claiming this is a scientific experiment, so please stop. Please stop with all that, bro. Please stop, because I don't care if you think I'm stupid. It's provable I'm not stupid. No one cares. I don't care when people call me stupid. But when you go around arguing against my points, but you don't understand it yet, it's a very bad look for flat earth. That's genuinely why I'm frustrated. It's because I care about flat earth. I care about it a lot. Okay, so I don't want that to happen. Why do you think I've gone on the front lines and mediated between all these different groups and all this infighting and constantly tried to stop it? Because I truly care a lot about flat earth. I'm very passionate about it. I had a very real spiritual relation or experience pertaining to it, right? Because I was like, oh, the earth's flat 5 years ago. Then I found out, like, dude, God's very real. I had a very real spiritual experience. I was like, dude, I got to cut out some of these sins, bro. I started feeling bad about things I never felt bad about. So then I got close to God. I fasted a few times, and I started feeling like, before I fasted and everything, I was like, wait, am I doing my rekindled faith a disservice whenever I'm constantly going around talking about flat earth? I was like, people are going to think, of course you think Jesus is real. You think the earth is flat. But I was shown, no, I meant what I said, right? And yeah, you are going to keep telling people, because people are being detached from what I created for them. And now there is no gratitude. There is no appreciation for how magnificent and amazing the very place that these people live is. They've been detached from the amount of love that is demonstrated through creation itself. Okay, so I feel very strongly about this. Why did I turn down way more money than I'll ever be offered again? And I'm a college dropout and I will never receive that job offer again, because I know this is the right thing to do and I will not sell out my principles for it. So that includes some little gamma that hides behind fake names on the internet saying I'm stupid and throwing me all kinds of insults and straw manning my argument. You're not going to stop me, bro. You can't. No one can. No one. Other than God himself. So you just need to accept it. You're not going to stop me, bro. Okay? So anyway, the point is, I feel strongly about it. I'm going to continue to speak about it. And we have been detached from what the earth is, right? And if you know what the earth is, and you know it's a geocentric stationary plane, and that humans have domain on the earth, there is no other way than that, meaning you're very important. And there is no other way than this was crafted for you. Not just crafted, not just designed, but designed for you specifically. This was designed for you. That's a whole different paradigm than what we were brainwashed with, bro. Okay? So this is very important. All of it's important. Everything's electric. Everything is electrostatic. So whenever I drop something there, it's electrostatic, right? So the gravimeter is just a little box, okay? It's vacuum sealed, controlled environment. We've controlled the density. We measure the BB dropping. We use cross intersection patterns of lasers, okay? And it's very precise, measuring the change in velocity. Whether you want to challenge the speed of light or whatever, I agree with you, by the way, but I'm not going back through that again. If someone still doesn't understand it, if this eludes someone's cognitive grasp, that's no longer my problem, okay? But it objectively is precise enough to show you the change in velocity. This is objective. So it was invoked simply to show there is a change in acceleration. If you move it around the Earth, it's changing relative to where you move it to. Sometimes it changes in the same location itself. But what never changes is the density of the environment of that little BB, which means the density of the medium is not affecting the rate in which that thing falls objectively. It's not that it doesn't affect it at all, because it's more dense than the air. That's the only reason it's falling down. Again, that's intrinsic in my claim, okay? But whenever it doesn't keep falling at the same rate, but the density is exactly the same, there's something else at play. What we know is at play is that little BB is electrostatic, because everything is. And if you can't exclude it or negate it, you can't say it doesn't play a role, because we know it does. We know what it does. We know the phenomena is replicated in thousands of different ways. You can go outside and just watch a freaking thunderstorm, and you know that electrostatics is very real and that it goes down to the Earth. This is just objective. The Earth is negatively charged. So I have all the naturally occurring observable phenomena, all of it. That's my whole foundation. I have all the practical demonstrations. I have all the naturally occurring phenomena, all of it. So when you're telling me that I'm pseudoscience, I'm bringing up pseudoscience, I'm not offering any actual evidence or any practical demonstration, that is patently absurd, bro. That makes no sense. It's actually, dare I say it, stupid. And this is, again, why I've ended up regretting doing it, because I don't want flat Earth looking stupid. So don't argue. It's not that if you disagree with me, you're stupid. I'm not that arrogant of a person, dude. I am wrong about things. But when you argue against me saying I'm wrong, but you're arguing something I didn't even argue or postulate, and you're not understanding what I said, but you know I'm wrong, then that makes flat Earth look bad, especially when it's smart people in flat Earth, smart leaders in flat Earth. It is not a good look. It is not a good look. And now I think maybe it's too far for people to walk it back, but I hope to God that maybe it's not. Okay, because this doesn't hurt your argument. It makes it better. I don't disagree with your argument. It's part of my argument. I've been flat smacking Globers over the side of the head with your argument. And dude, let's be honest. I can make the argument better than a lot of you guys, right? I'm not trying to brag, right? I'm just good at debating things. Like, I can make the density argument very well, guys. You don't have to act like you're going to teach me about it. Please stop spamming my PMs with it. Stop spamming my DMs with it. Stop spamming my emails with it. Stop spamming comments with it. Stop talking behind my back about it. Actually, if you want to be a secret king, go ahead and do it. But the point here is, guys, electrostatics is still a play. And if you can't address any of these points that I'm making with very, very specific detail, and it might even be tedious to the audience at this point, I'm sorry, but, you know, I feel that I have to be, okay? So we are measuring a difference there. And if it's not the medium density changing that changes the rate of fall, you can't say that the only thing that causes acceleration up or down is the medium. It is a huge factor, primary factor. It is not the original causal agent. It isn't. Because when we control that variable, you want to talk about science, we controlled the variable of density, bro. The density of the medium was controlled. That was a control variable. That means it's not the independent variable. We controlled it. We didn't let it change. You know, you take it. I guess I'll explain this, okay, which most people, this is why they think I'm wrong somehow, because they know this, but they don't know how to connect it to my point. So a scientific experiment where the three constituent parts. We have a dependent variable, an independent variable, and control variables. Your dependent variable, an observable phenomena, a naturally occurring observable phenomena, an effect. You have your phenomena. Then you have your independent variable or your presumed cause. You're going to manipulate and vary that to substantiate your hypothesis, which is a cause and effect relationship test that you have proposed that you're going to either falsify or verify, right? And so you're going to make sure it's the cause of the effect. So you have your dependent variable, your effect, your independent variable, your cause, your hypothesis, cause and effect relationship test, and you have control variables. So whenever we go boil water and it's 212 degrees at sea level, we've controlled the variable of pressure. So now we know that we can introduce a certain amount of heat and water will boil. The pressure was the control variable. Whenever we control the variable of the density of the medium, yet the effect still fluctuates, it is not the primary causal agent. This is objective. And hand wave dismissal of saying we don't see these things in nature, or we do see downward acceleration in nature. We do see electrostatics in nature. So again, not to be too reiterative, I'm not invoking the gravimeter saying it's a scientific experiment that's proving scientifically a causal agent. That's not why it's invoked. That's not where I establish my cause claim at all. Like at all. It's just to show you there is a change in the rate of fall. And actually, there's many ways that we could do this, right? But anyway, moving on, then we have the Van de Graaff. We show that the paper will go up, the wood shavings will go up, hair will go up, styrofoam will go up, right? Because we're increasing the charge. So again, positive always goes to negative. That's what lightning is. So this is all naturally occurring observable phenomena. Sorry, I didn't plan on this being 51 minutes of me basically doing the debate again. But I just want people to understand the argument, okay? Now, gravity does not debunk my claim. Gases do not debunk my claim. Gases, they work within my overall claim. So this is a minor disagreement. We can agree to disagree, but you guys who could not debate me, right? Like, don't run around with your little fake YouTube name just like spamming me with all the hateful comments. I get plenty from the Globers, guys, right? Like, can we pump the brakes on that? Right? And I'm trying to mediate all the animosity in Flat Earth. I'm not trying to deal with more of it. I'm not trying to get dragged into it. I'm not trying to get dragged through the mud. Whatever was said until now, if I rubbed someone the wrong way, I sincerely apologize. I meant no disrespect to anybody. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, okay? Anything that was said about me, I forgive you. I don't want any to deal with any drama. Anything that was said about me, water off my back. We're cool. You don't have to apologize. We're good to go. Just please stop. Please stop, because I cannot make promises after this point. You know, if you continue to publicly attack, I will publicly eviscerate you at this point, because I can only keep my patience so long. Okay? All right. Sorry about all that. Machine gun round on the way. Take it easy on us, Boston, bro. Sorry. Yay! Karma always finds its level. I like that. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm not gonna lie, Vader Bear. I normally keep an eye on your name because you be dropping gravy in the chat. So you definitely provide more than just that. Oh, by the way, did y'all like the new intro? Somebody sent that to me. It was super awesome. Super awesome. Let's play it again. All right. Surely you aren't going to be haters, but if you like the intro, which we might integrate this into the song or make an intro clip with the song. All it is this right now. He said he might want to change a few things here and there, lighting or whatever, but the general premise of the logo, I mean, we got to admit, it's thousands of times better than what I made, which is just like incredibly boring and it just sucks. Like, let's be honest. So anyway, I'm going to play it. If you like it, press 1. If you dislike it or think it should be, okay. If you think I should update it to something more along these lines, press 1 once I play it. And if you think I should keep it the old one, press 2. Here we go. It's fire, bro. Let's be real. Someone said 2 globe-like. Ones. We got all ones. Only 1, 2. Yeah. I just wanted. I know if my homie's in here, I wanted him to see that I wasn't just amping him up. It actually is pretty dope. So we're gonna let the people speak. We're getting all ones, bruh. So I appreciate it, homie. Oh, we're just getting a bunch of ones. All right, y'all don't have to keep doing it. We get it. Thank you, though. Thanks for participating, guys. So I guess I'll throw the StreamYard link in here. Let me make sure I didn't have anything else to show you guys. We covered the hijacking of Coulomb's law, which is like basically identical to the gravitational law equation, which probably is a coincidence, right, guys? But it's a coincidence. They hijacked electrostatics. That's what they did. Well, we only got one that disagrees. I like it that I'm getting wrong. No worries, bro. At least you're honest. You're not like just lying. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. It should be WitsitGetsIt without a space. Oh, we're way past that. That's the name of the channel, bro. Dude, well, we gotta admit the logo has like significantly improved, dude. You remember whenever I first did videos, it was just a box with some cartoon dude from PowerPoint just like holding this freaking plugin. Pretty fun. All right, so if anybody wants to join, let's do it. Let me make sure. I think we're on D Live. Yeah, D Live's finally working. Yeah, let me go shout. Sorry I haven't shouted any of y'all out. Carl Taylor, what's up? Red for Bear's a legend. What's up, everyone? Much love. Oh, Neo, what's up, bro? Argentina, what's up, bro? That's pretty funny. We're going to start having to do D Live only streams. Something that isn't electrostatic, which there is nothing, so it just needs to look like the electrostatic stuff a bit more. Everything electrostatic, bro. Philosopher just donated 1 Ninja Genie. Can I just call them Lambos? You're the man, bro. Thank you very much. Hopefully it's still working. It's not really working on my thing. But thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you for the diamond. Red for Bear. Gracias. Thank you for the diamond T-Shot 85. You're the man. Oh, another diamond T-Shot 85. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder if everyone always like reads them all. I don't think I'm supposed to. Maybe I should just read out like the top contributors. Maybe I'll refresh because it's frozen on my screen. I'm hoping it's not still. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, yeah. Thanks everybody. Much love for showing love on D Live. And yeah, what's a Lambo worth? Lambo's worth 1,000 lemons. I think that's like, I don't even know. I don't know anything about it, dude, to be honest. I almost don't want to know because I get so excited about them, you know. I know they're not like, I know lemons aren't very much at all, but like I get real excited. I'm like, it's a Lambo, you know. I'm about to ruin it. Let's see. I think it's like 1 cent per lemon. If anyone knows, then y'all can let me know. But someone said usually $250,000. How much is a Lambo? That's pretty funny. I'm not really sure why we got a lag unless the grabblers are out. All right, anybody wants to jump on? Let's get the link. Invite. Copy. No cussing, please. Or like if you accidentally cuss, it's okay. Don't just come in here talking all crazy and cussing if you don't mind. I try not to cuss because last thing we need to do is give the little freaking grabblers any bait. There's a StreamYard link. My view on astrology. I think there's definitely something to it, like, but I don't get caught up in it because scriptures say not to. Plus, I just think people just make shit up. Oh, I just said don't cuss and then cussed. Oh, that word's okay. Just don't be dropping F-bombs left and right if you don't mind. I just think it's kind of a bad look, you know. But yeah, Well, the way I see it are the stars. They're actually angels that are singing like majestic tunes, right? They're singing praises, and they're in the heavenly waters. So since they're in water and they're singing a certain frequency, that turns into a light. That's how we perceive it. Because you can prove this with cymatics, right? Star in a jar, sonoluminescence. Maybe I'll show you a video on that later. But the planets are like the rebellious angels, right? But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of like really important energy connected to the sky. And so if you're born within a certain cycle of this energy, I wouldn't be able to say like it doesn't have any effect. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? So dang, I hope we don't get any trolls in here. Anybody does something crazy, we're just gonna immediately get prevented. All right, we got somebody. Boom. What's up, bro? Can you hear me? Are you there? Well, that was anticlimactic. How is the Holocaust going to play out? I don't know. A bunch of people are going to go take vaccines and get sick and die. The Star in a Jar was definitely an eye-opener moment for me. Yeah, we'll have to play that video. If anyone thinks they've got a good one, hit me up. No one's ever seen this. What are you even doing? Of course, I put it on the wrong browser. What a loser. All right, let's check it. Oh, Vader Bear. What's up, homie?
What's up, Austin? Nice to talk to you, brother.
You too, bro. You always be dropping gravy in the chat.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was pretty much calling about this. It's like I said it was a couple days ago when you were going over the Tower of Babel. And so I've always thought it as of a 3.0 because there was a world order that obviously eventually happened pre-flood, where all the humans either changed themselves or it got so diversified that it was within all the blood. However that part happened, I think there was a world order, and I think so much that they left the monoliths all around the world so that when wherever they came down after the flood, they had some place to find this technology. Well, it just happened that they came down on Mount Ararat, and which is the Middle East, right close to Nimrod's area. And then you have the time of the suns growing and them having their own places, and then eventually accumulating with the Tower of Babel. So that was 2.0 through that technology. And then I think it's 3.0. So I'm not even telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying, maybe have you ever thought about the other side of it?
Actually, you make a good point. I never did. Yeah, that would actually make sense, probably, that there was a initial world order before the flood, right? Because it got so bad that they had to take it out. And then, yeah, of course. So actually, you have to be right. Think about it, because there was only like Noah was like the only pure one left, right? So like everyone was on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So yeah, this is basically the third and final time.
And that even ties into the 7 seals, the 7 bowl trumpets, and then the 7 bowls, right? So there's 3 sets of 7, and each era got their own judgment.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the same thing happens, but it's just a little different. Like one of them is a third of the sea turns to blood. Well, on the end, in the bowl, the whole sea, all the sea turns to blood.
Bro, you did it, bro. I agree with you. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Anyways, dude, I love hearing you, man. You're super smart. I love all the stuff you're bringing up, and I'll continue watching, man. I'm a father of almost 4, so I when I can, I will throw some shekels at you. So
Oh, no worries, bro. Family first, dude. Keep crushing, man. Keep making babies.
yeah, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Love. Oh, my man just came in, just laid on gravy right away. I have to agree with him. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So I guess World Order 2.0 post flood, because of course, yeah, I mean, and that's crazy because I never put it together with like the trumpets. Oh my man. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Because you could probably, with that context, I have a feeling you might be able to understand a lot of prophecies better. Be right back. Oh, hey, long time no see. No one else want to jump on, guys? I'm going to drop the link again. I mean, you don't have to jump on camera if you're uncomfortable, guys, but it's open. It's open forum, guys. I just got significantly high with that combo. Yeah, I poured that like a noob. I think every time I try getting his opinion, he isn't looking at chat. Sorry, I'll look up at you. Most peeps don't know, but the first and second generation, Nephilim, Civil War, Clash of Titans, and 700 years before the flood. Plan B, teaching man genetic engineering, caused the flood. Okay, that's an interesting take. I'm not fully on board with the genetic engineering thing. Certainly very possible. Well, let me specify, right? Like genetic engineering happened regardless, but it's like the process, right? Is it some form of technological genetic engineering or manipulation, or is it just because of the sorry, I'm trying to fix my drink. It's just really going to get on my nerves. But is it technological? I don't know. It might be, though. It might be. I've always been very open-minded about that. They were certainly very advanced, but we know that they could have manipulated genetics purely because of that, because of the Watchers. But so most people don't know about the first and second generation Nephilim Civil War, Clash of the Titans, which I do agree with that. I should start writing these stream ideas down. That just sounds like an epic stream. Clash of the Titans. The real Clash of the Titans. Who will prevail in a world where no one knows what the world is? In the 700 years before the flood. I'm not sure where you got the timeline. I'm very interested, though. Vader's awesome. I agree. Every time I see him type something in the chat, it's on point. Then my man just came in and just was like, bro, you're missing a whole entire world order. What are you doing, bro? Two geniuses playing a sweet game of brain pong. Oh, thanks, man. Kill Gates admitted the vax will change the DNA. Dude, it's called Moderna, which is literally mod RNA. It modifies your RNA. They have to tell you straight to your face what it is. It's called Moderna. Mod RNA. Guys, everything's electrostatic, bro. Everything. Can anyone in the chat tell me something that's not electrostatic? Just for kicks and giggles, can anyone name anything? Because I'm failing to see how we lose our point here if you can't name anything. And this is very important to understanding. Now, I think most of the people in here are super base. Y'all know God's real, right? I mean, I don't know many flat earthers that don't know God's real. God connected everything, like literally. You're electric. Your heart, they say it like pumps. Your heart's electric, dude. The earth's like a capacitor. Everything's electric. Take it or leave it, bro. Rob Skiba goes into free or pre-flood timeline. I've watched quite a bit of Rob Skiba. That's the man, dude. I need to have him on here sometime. He's super busy though. He's crushing so hard. They just going 0 to 100 all the time. So I wouldn't expect him to jump on my little channel, you know. One man against all the odds. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that. Yeah. Can we protect ourselves from the radiation that would be bouncing around from the atmosphere and from 5G? Yeah, like our bodies are super, super amazing. So, oh dang, we gotta. I'm sorry that I ignored people, bro. What's up, homie?
How much? How you doing?
Oh, you good, bro?
Sorry that I ignored people, bro. No, I just barely hooked my camera up just seconds ago.
A bit of an echo, but we'll be all right. So, if anyone doesn't know, God Reckon's a legend from 24/7. Bit of an echo. How you doing, bro? So, if anyone doesn't know, God Reckon's a legend from 24/7.
I don't know about legend, but I've been there for a minute.
Oh, we just got muted. Hey, you're on mute, maybe on accident, bro. We do got a bit of an echo, dude. I love you to death, but I can't. See if you can fix the echo, maybe. An echo, dude. I love you to death. Oh, yeah. Mute. If you have the YouTube playing, mute it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Mute. If you have the YouTube playing, mute it.
Yeah, I do. I'm just trying to. It's covered. I'm finding it.
No worries.
Just give me a second here. It's covered.
No worries.
Give me a second.
Thank you, Trevor, for the $4.99 super chat. You are the man. Gracias. Thank you, Trevor, for the $4.99 super chat. You are the. Thank you, Trevor, for the $4.99 super chat.
Is that any better?
Yeah, maybe. Nope.
Shit.
Yeah, maybe. No. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Let me work on it. Let me work on it for a minute.
All right.
Sign me off for a minute. Let me go and.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. All right, cool. God Rockin's a legend. He's got tons of gravy. Yeah, sorry I missed a few people that had added in. I totally forgot I was doing that. So, like, if anybody wants to call back in, I'll throw you back on there. And thanks for the super chat. Let me throw the. When you think you got to figure it out, you can just throw in the chat. God Rock, and I'll throw you back in there. I think I saw where Bob said he thinks he can get Rob to do a show. That would be pretty dope. I would just sit back and let him talk and ask him questions. He's got plenty of gravy. He knows way more about like extra biblical text and stuff than I do. That's for sure. If somehow you don't know who Rob Skiba is, what are you even doing? But go show him some love and sub. God Rockin', if you think you got it figured out, just hit me a text in the thing. Like the audio was super, super bad, dude. Like I was hearing myself like 3 times. And I just know it's gonna be like real bad for the people on the other end, you know, and the playback. Is it possible that 1,000 years of peace already happened? Looking at the Tartarians, I don't think so. I guess anything's possible. Sweet, yeah, Rob is awesome, bro. Because I want to start doing. Oh yeah, we got private chat. Okay, here we go. What's up, bro?
Is that better?
Yeah, we'll see. Little echo, not too bad. How's it going, bro?
Good. How you doing? This is the first time I've been on your live stream. It's cool. I'm glad to have been able to join you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah. So what's the topic? What's going on here?
That everything's electrostatic. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I figured you did. My boy God Rockin's got it figured out.
Yep, the luminaries above us.
What's that gravy you always hit me with? You got any gravy for the people?
About what subject are we talking here? About the luminaries? About the electromagnetic static stuff, or what?
I don't care. What are you going to talk about, bro?
Well,
let's see. What do you normally tell me about? Golden ratio?
no, not too often.
Okay, maybe wrong person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care, bro. Let's see.
Well,
Did you? Oh, never mind. Yeah. Luminaries. What do you think about that?
what do I think about it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's been a clock above us for centuries on end, with no end, and I think that it's pretty hard for me to understand why the Globers, for one, can't understand that we don't move, that moves. It hasn't moved in thousands of years, and when you are supposedly screaming through space, supposedly around a spinning ball, traveling millions upon millions of miles, and you can see the same luminaries in the sky day after day, night after night, for literally as long as we can remember. That is just so ridiculous to think that we've moved even an inch, because we would see different luminaries every night. I think we would, if we were moving at the speeds they're telling us we are. I mean,
Yeah, the sky would be like an etch-a-sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody mapped that out one time. I seen that. Somebody had done a sketch what it looked like, and it did. It looked exactly like an etch-a-sketch. It was ridiculous.
Dude, there's no doubt.
So,
I'm gonna add this next person in, bro. If you ever want to go chop up with God Rockin' Ton of Gravy, 24/7 legend, and much love. Thanks for jumping on, my man.
yeah, sure.
Oh, bro.
Just hang out and listen.
Cool. And then, of course, the next person disappears. That's pretty cool. Anybody else wants to jump on? Just, you said no volume. I don't know. I think y'all should be hearing the conversations, bro. It's new. God Rockin' is the man, right? Not the best quality of call, but it's all good. You guys, this is the chilled kicked back Friday. I hit y'all with bullet style things. So y'all are gonna be okay. I heard about your echo made you sound better. Yeah, there was still a bit of an echo, but I think he had it going through without headphones or whatever. I don't know. I shout out that super chat. Let me make sure I'm not missing any PayPals. I don't think I am. But yeah, guys, literally, can anyone in the chat name anything that isn't electrostatic? I just would be very interested. So is the sound good? Like, is everyone hearing me good? Do I need to turn myself up or something? Let's see what we got over at D Live. Thank you for the limit. Top contributor. Contributor is, I don't see the name of the person, so that's whack. Top contributor is, hey, top contributor is philosopher, contributor. Why do I keep saying that word wrong? Like people are like, Austin, you're so smart. Like, dude, I say like words wrong. I just say words wrong, like just completely wrong. Yeah, I said compass for the longest. Sometimes I just misspell like the simplest of words, you know? Like, I guess I'm hit or miss, bro. What's up, brother Chainsaw? What's up, bro? Shout out to all the people on D Live. Thanks for coming over there, helping us build the platform for we get censored. So you know you gotta preemptively be ready. Thank you for the diamond T-shot. Much love. Coming back over. Guys, somebody jump in the freaking chat. What are y'all doing? Y'all don't have to be on camera if you're embarrassed, man. It's no big deal. Everybody can look at my ugly mug. And y'all can just talk. Oh, yeah, I was going to show the video. All right, so this should give fillings, electrostatic. I think so. Every single thing ever is electric. Just everything. No big deal. Austin, you don't have any naturally occurring phenomena. Oh, besides, you mean like everything? What are you people talking about? There's no matter in existence that isn't made of charged particles. It's what gives matter its cohesion. Oh. Bob comes in for the victory lap. I mean, I don't understand how people don't know that, but, you know, let me check my script and see if it's in there. Can you explain the magnetic North Pole? There's a magnetic source at the center of the Earth. We're not allowed to go within 500 miles of each direction. And every single age of civilization said there was a mountain. And whenever the devil showed Yeshua the entirety of the Earth, if you just read the Bible, you're like, wait, what? He showed them the whole entire Earth from a mountain? That doesn't make any sense. Well, obviously it doesn't make any sense on a globe, but we know the Earth's not a globe. But still, you're just like, what? The whole Earth from a mountain? But according to Enoch, there's a mountain in the center, and then it goes all the way up to the heavens. So if there's a mountain that goes all the way to the heavens at the center of the earth, and then the devil took him to the top of the mountain and said, if you bow to me, I'll give you all these kingdoms. And he was looking at all the kingdoms of the earth. Well, what better way to do that than a mountain that goes all the way to the heavens, where you have an equidistant view from the center to all the edges? So yeah, there's something very special about the middle. So when people start waking up to the shape of the earth, they're like, oh, go look at the outside. Look at the outside. Antarctica, south, Antarctica. Never going and looking at the center, which something very important is there. Inner Earth? Maybe so. I think that there are 4 rivers. It stems from the water source, the 5th water source, or really the first, that stems from the deep. And, of course, the story. Oh, I got a Christmas stream coming up, too. Of course, this idea is tied back to the idea of Santa Claus, which the original story and the etymology of the main character's name is actually like portal in the center. They take you to the North Pole, it's portal in the center, like literally. That's the etymology of the original character's name. So have fun with that one, guys. Like, it's pretty obvious there's something in the center that's important, but I don't think that, like, not even the grabblers can just like waltz up in the center. Like, I don't think that's how it works. I'd call in chat, but I can't on my phone. I'll definitely next time. Yeah, no worries, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show y'all Star in a Jar. I'm going to post the freaking thing again. You guys are leaving me hanging, but it's okay. I forgive you. We got 140 people here. No one wants to chat. D Live. We're good. All right, let's show the Star in the Jar. Let's get to the... Oh, red for bear. Cancel. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm just wondering, Whitsitt, why would they lie?
I don't know. It's a good question. Do you have any hypothesis?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. I don't know. There's this really good song out there too that explains a lot of things. So I can
Oh, there is.
recommend that to people.
Yeah. Why would they lie? Let's actually put a link in the chat. So, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Actually, I wasn't going to call in, but decided to at the last second here. So I just wanted to say about your other stream that you did the other day when you were talking about Nimrod. And I thought it was really interesting because, I studied mythology so much when I was in university. And one of the main things that I remembered was that they always worship the god Dionysus, right? Who's the god of fertility and wine. And he's the one that they would worship at their little dress up in the dark sodomy parties. So that kind of connected the dots too. And Bacchus, who is actually the Roman equivalent of that, is also the same.
There
So
you go.
that was interesting. Yeah. So it's just like, listening to all these streams that you're doing, which is awesome gravy and content, just like putting all these pieces together. So it's really good.
Yo, look at Redford Bear just coming in here straight away ladling gravy.
Well, anything I can contribute, right? Because you guys know so much more about everything. So when I can fit little pieces in and share, it's kind of good to do that, I think.
So you're saying you're not a fan of the little creepy grabblers that play dress up in the dark and have sodomy rituals?
Never, not at all, never. It was always so bizarre to me when I learned about that, and just like how normalized it was when they would discuss it in this open platform right in universities. So it's just super creepy, super creepy.
So, okay, I got a question for you, Redford Bear. Do you think that the Roman civilizations existed?
You know what I did because I did for a very long time. I'm starting to question these things now from having these conversations and listening to more things. Like, it's just again, you fall into like that trap of like brainwashing and what, you've been told to believe and led to believe. So that's what my degree was in, like history and native studies and studying classics. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're trained to believe that. And then me going to Rome and like going to the Forum and the Colosseum and all these things. So it makes it that much more real. But
oh, you've been there?
Yeah, I have been there. I got to go, and I went to London as well and Scotland. And actually, one of my favorite places that I went to see in Scotland, I went with my mom. We were only there for 2 days, was Rosslyn Chapel. I don't know if you know too much about that. That was built by the Knights Templar, and it's like the most beautifully, like intricately carved building. It was beautiful, but kind of creepy, eerie, because it was just so much stone, and like they have like the green men that are like super not welcoming to look at. So
what did you say it was called?
Rosslyn Chapel.
All right, let's check it out. So was the was it pretty cool though? Like, what was the architecture pretty dope?
Oh yeah, like amazing. One of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. And I didn't want to go there because it was like further outside of Edinburgh and we didn't have a lot of time to like explore. And it was funny because my mom really wanted to go, and it ended up being my favorite place that we went, just because it was so, just the design of it was so cool.
So yeah, that's where I get into, this seems like a grabbler trick where like they didn't even freaking build that stuff. They just like take credit for it, right? Like, so it's not, I certainly don't dispute that those buildings are there or that they're really old, but I don't think they built them.
No, and like the more that I listen to all this stuff, I don't even know what to believe anymore, because they say they build them so fast and whatnot, and how were they able to get up there and like carve the ceiling to be so beautifully done? And yeah, I don't know, I'm questioning a lot of things, because I always wanted to go to Greece because the mythology part, right, and go and see the temples and whatnot, but now it's just like it's all a lie. Potentially,
so is this it right here?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you went up in the Vatican too, right?
I did. Yeah, that was out of everywhere I've been in my life, I wanted to get out of that place so quick. It was such a weird, bad energy. So we went into the Sistine Chapel, and that was okay. That wasn't as bad. But the Vatican itself, and even just like being on the grounds, I found was a very negative energy, something that I just can't really explain.
Yeah, I believe you. It may be all the like alleged pedophiles and like occultic rituals of like sacrifice or something. Just maybe.
Well, could it be? Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
it's possible. Yeah,
possible. Yeah. So,
well, Bread for Bear is obviously a legend, as you can tell, and yeah, we got to do an Enoch stream soon.
Yeah, anytime this weekend or whenever, just let me know and we can definitely do that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting excited to read more. It's actually been it's been like the most life-changing thing, actually. Shockingly, I never would have thought that it would be so, great for me. So I can't wait to continue.
Are you down to do an exercise if you want to kick it for a second? It's called the Baby Truther Challenge. All right, so there's this thing that goes around, right? Like if you know who Jaron is, and they call him like a baby truther because he'll be like hesitant on like pulling the trigger on like JFK didn't even get killed,
Oh, so that's why they call him the baby truther, because I couldn't I know I heard them talking about that, but I didn't know what that's what it was for.
Yeah, just random things. They got like a whole meme and they call Alex, Dave, and him a baby truther. So we're gonna ask you some of the like real, like for the average person out there questions. So anyone that's got some that they think are good baby truther questions, hit the chat and we're gonna see how she fares and we'll see if she's a baby.
Oh no. Okay, we'll see. No expectations. We'll see how it goes.
All right. So let's just start there. Did JFK get assassinated?
No.
Okay. Were there planes on 9/11?
Oh gosh, no, not at all.
Okay, but did anyone die on 9/11?
Ooh. I don't, I've thought about that a lot, even before I started listening to you guys. And, I don't know. I kind of do think so but again, then I get caught up. It's like, I'm trying to be skeptical of everything. So I guess I'll say yes, but I'm still not sure.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that one. Like I think that the number they told us is just made up, but like in a controlled demolition that no one knew about, it's like very likely that someone died, So I wouldn't say that no one died.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, because pardon me?
I just forgot that some of these I'm gonna have to not ask because we're on YouTube. They're gonna this is a D Live game, but who cares? Whatever, just tell me.
Yeah, everybody go over to D Live. That's where it's at. Go to D Live.
Yeah, exactly. Red for Bear is there to help moderate. One of the few people. Yeah. Let's see. So, maybe since I pieced it together, but so were the Egyptians, were the original Egyptians black or white?
Well, after listening to your stream the other day, I would say white.
Okay. Before that, you thought they were black?
Yeah, because that's all the depictions that we've ever seen, right? I mean, I've never seen a real one, obviously, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So are there any, this should be an easy one, I would think, but are there any good vaccines?
No.
Okay. I don't see any good.
No.
Yeah, dude. Is there a price you could take to like give your child vaccines?
Like, a price, like a monetary value?
Yeah.
No.
So 10 mil, not cutting it?
No, not because never, because the risk is just money's not that important really at the end of the day. It's not that I mean, it's a means to an end to get through the world that we live in, but it's definitely not everything. So no, definitely not.
Did Adolf Hitler create the new German machine, or was that an American business venture?
What is a new German machine?
I don't even know what he's talking about, so I'm like a baby truther, I guess.
Oh.
By the way, let's lay out the outline here. Baby truther is where there's different layers to the conspiracy, and it gets to where it was even more insane than you ever thought it was, and people just can't go that far, right? So it's like, oh yeah, 9/11, that was legit, but there were definitely, or that wasn't legit. The official stories are wrong, but there were definitely planes, right? Those are the kind of questions you want, the layered conspiracies. Like, did we go to the moon? That's not a good one. But did we go to the moon?
No, definitely
Right.
not.
Of course not. Does fluoride help your teeth?
No, I actually use a distiller. That's all. I only just drink distilled water now, actually.
Do you brush your teeth with fluoride toothpaste?
Of course not. I've been using fluoride-free toothpaste for probably 5 years now.
Oh, you're super woke. How many kids do you want?
You know what? As many as God will allow me to have, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
look at how based you are.
you know what? And that would have, my answer would have been different. I would be like a number, like, I have to have this many, but it's like, I definitely want to have kids though. That's for sure.
I won't ask you two personal questions, but you're way too base, but you live in where freedom is frowned upon.
Well, I think they're taking away Christmas from us now, apparently. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens.
They're saying that people can't kick it for Christmas?
Apparently. I heard that today. Somebody told me that, but I haven't gone online and read anything yet, so I'm not sure.
Let me think if I can think of any more. Maybe they're asking me questions. I don't know. Is the dome an electric force field?
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button and I lost you. Can you repeat that, please?
They said, well, I guess they're asking me this question, I would think, but is the dome an electric force field or something? Like, sure, you could say that. Guys, y'all are letting me down. Y'all have any questions? I'll just come up with my own, dude. My goodness, this would be an easy game to play. All right, so I'm going to ask some hard-hitting ones right here. And so this is my preface before I ever get into real gravy. To the little like Gamma YouTube guy that's like watching my stream, or maybe he doesn't watch my stream until he gets flagged, but we've already been flagged because Gamma stalk it. Just go get a girlfriend, bro. Like, no one cares. There's no reason to flag my channel, dude. Just leave. It's all going to be okay. All right, so does 6 million seem a little high, or do you think that's legit?
Oh, it seems a little high.
Okay. Was Adolf Hitler by chance the people group that he claimed to hate, or is that a bit too far? Right.
Like, do you mean he was part of the group that he hated?
Claimed to hate, yeah. I'm just asking. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I took oh wow, I could go down this rabbit hole for a while. Like I took a class in university about anti-Semitism and the Holocaust. And that was really interesting.
We'll just say, yeah, look, the official narrative super legit. And I've already had attacks for that. So I don't even know why I brought it up.
Okay.
but yeah, dude, Adolf Hitler sucked. Mm-hmm. He was a terrible guy. He was right about a lot, though, allegedly. But like, just agriculture and technological advancements and tracking back the Aryan race and trying to piece it all together. But, some say he worked with a certain group of people that got some land after that. I don't know. That's just what they say. So we'll move on from that. Do you think nuclear bombs are real?
No, they don't really make a lot of sense. I don't know. I don't think so. My gut says no.
Oh, you were tiptoeing on baby truther there, big time.
Well, because I guess I've never looked into it that much, so I can just what have I been told, which we know is not necessarily the truth, right? So I'm gonna say no because, pardon me.
Have you seen the videos?
Yeah, or whatever. Probably, yeah, on TV, clearly. So it must be true, right?
The videos are just preposterous. They're so stupid.
Yeah. No, I don't think so because, wouldn't something have happened by now? I don't know if that was legit.
JFK Jimmy Carter?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never even thought about that. What do you think?
I'm on the fence with that one. I don't go that far. I don't think so. I don't think Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, and I don't think JFK is Jimmy Carter. He could be. They have like a whole bunch of similarities, but I don't know.
Okay. I try to
Those are
stay
a bit
away
too
from
far.
like that. Pardon me?
Yeah, well, I was about to say the same thing.
Oh yeah, I just when it comes to like all the celebrities and all that guy, like the interchanging people, I don't know. I'm not there yet. I haven't gone down that path.
It's Michelle Obama, man.
Well, let's just say I thought it was very interesting that her book is called Becoming. And what is she becoming?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that in Obama's most recent book, he straight up says that one of the number one things that Michelle felt really strongly about was that she could not go out and be photographed in a bikini in public? This is in his new memoir.
What?
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, that one's light work.
That was crazy.
Let's see do airplanes use jet fuel? Well, I think the question should be better phrased. Do airplanes use as much jet fuel as they claim? Do you think there's some like jet fuel conspiracy to do with planes? These crazy people think that they're lying.
Well, yeah, I think I mean, I came across this a while ago, even before you guys were talking about like electrostatic, right? But I don't know if there's like an actual like jet stream, like an electromagnetic field up there that carries them through versus like using all that fuel, because that doesn't make sense when you're going that far of a distance. Like, how are you going to carry that in a plane? I don't know. It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, I'm not real good at asking the questions without giving away my position. I'm trying to get better, but yeah, my take is they claim that they put all that fuel in the plane wings. Right. The problem is that they claim there's that much in the wings, and just like that just couldn't. It just doesn't mathematically add up. And
but
so
the wings like don't even look that solid to be able to hold that amount of gas. That doesn't make sense.
I used to work at an airport. I used to put fuel in planes. Like planes have fuel, right? But like you just take off and start and maybe land. It seems like they operate on like compressed air. They have some type of like this vortex that kind of just keeps them going. It seems something like that, and maybe it's an understanding of an ether field or whatever. I don't know. But when you find out that like 85% of your plane tickets cost has to do with fuel, then you start to kind of, they probably inflated those numbers. That's not really that crazy of a conspiracy. Are dinosaurs real?
No. I've never thought dinosaurs were real, actually. Even since I was a kid, I thought that was weird.
Oh, wow. Actually, would you like to, did you ever, when did you first think the earth could be flat?
Oh, I'm going to tell that story, am I?
You don't have to. You could just answer real quickly.
Since I was a kid, actually, probably when I was told that the earth was spinning at that astronomical speed, I couldn't fathom that I couldn't feel it if it was going that fast. So I was always skeptical about that. So since I was like a kid to grade school.
Yeah. I can't say that. You were more woke than me. Maybe you should start a YouTube channel. You're putting me to shame.
Well, no.
These aren't good questions. Well, I will say that, like, I don't think that the story they told us about dinosaurs are real, but I think there used to be very big animals, and just more in modern history, I think everything used to be bigger, including, like, all the vegetation. There used to be giant trees, and literally everything got smaller over the course of the I think that maybe even people that were in the scriptures that weren't tainted were, like, bigger. They may not have been, like, giants, but they were, like, a little bigger, because just, like, any leader in the Bible, like, people don't want to follow like someone that's like 5 foot tall. Like, no disrespect, but just, like, historically speaking, all of the heroic leaders or whatever, they were all tall, but most of them were giants. And it seems like there were big animals. Like, even the scriptures talk about like something to the effect of a dragon. But dinos real. Reptiles grow whole life, and pre-flood oxygen allowed for huge size. I actually agree with something like that, but what they told us about it is all lie. Dinosaurs, as they showed us, all the dinosaurs they showed us, it's all pseudoscience. None of it's real. But there were like big lizards and stuff like that, and that's what I think. And I think that the watch came down, they took the women as wives, they made giants, and then they even like hooked up with like the creatures maybe, and had like all kinds of weird hybrids. And so when they show us Egyptians that are like hybrids and they tell you this is all fairy tales, I don't know, was it? So I think it's like yes and no is my answer. But
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, because if they actually do find something, because I mean, I guess they're digging something up, then it would make more sense that it was something like that than versus the story they make up about, oh, we found this intricate little bone that makes this whole dinosaur that we've told you completely change. Like, it's just like, what are you talking
no,
about?
can we add multiple people? Oh, what's up, Vader Bear? You're on there.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, bro?
I was not expecting you to add me. I was actually writing a little note of the conversation y'all were having.
Oh, I'm really sorry that I didn't like give you a heads up.
Oh no, it's good, man. I was ready enough.
So I just wanted to throw you in here so you can give a take on everything, and then we'll just keep it pushing. Do you have any disagreements on our takes of the conversation so far?
Okay, so I actually wrote a couple notes down. So to all conspiracy theories, like, did anything need to happen for them to get what they wanted? Like, did people actually have to die at 9/11 for them to get the Patriot Act? No. Did the kids at the schools need to actually die for them? You know what I mean? So like that whole thing, did it actually need to happen? I'm very skeptical in that sense. And then I think Egyptian stuff was actually pre-flood, and then during the time of Nimrod, groups of people settled there, and then after the separation of the Tower of Babel, groups settled there. And you could even see that in the architecture, where it's like super precise, super good, and then it like got shabbier and shabbier. They just built upon it, and then kind of what Redford Bear was saying, like, I've never seen real bones. I don't know if the ones that they show are actually like, did dude just go out there and bury some stuff, or is it actually real? If it's real, yeah, it's just big lizards, and or like maybe with the Nephilim messing with stuff.
Oh yeah, to clarify, like all those that they show us, it's all lie. All the bones,
Yeah, 100%.
They found giant human bones instead of their animals. I just think
100%.
Cool that they were big animals,
Yeah, but actually, I called back because I remembered this. This is Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I just want to read this part really quick. It's really interesting when it comes to flat Earth. It says, "But look here," said Eustace. "This is all rot. The world's round. I mean, round like a ball, not like a table." "Our world is," said Edmund. "But is this?" And then this is Caspian talking. "Do you mean to say that you three come from a round world, like round like a ball, and you've never told me? Is it really too bad of you? Because we have fairy tales in which there are round worlds, and I always love them. I would never believe that there were any real ones, but I've always wished there were, and I've always longed to live in one. Oh, I'd give anything. I wonder why you can get into our world and we can never get into yours. If only I had the chance, but it must be exciting to live on a thing like a ball. Have you ever been to the parts where people walk about upside down?" Edmund shook his head. And it isn't like that," he added. "There's nothing particularly exciting about a round world when you're there." So I suggest everyone, even though they're like made for kids, go back and read the Chronicles of Narnia. There's so much gravy in there left by C.S. Lewis. So
that's crazy, bro. I never even thought about that. That's pretty wild, dude. Let's see if we got any questions. If y'all want to stay as long as y'all want to. If y'all want to leave, y'all can leave when y'all want to. Do you think the Earth existed for millions of years?
No.
Right, I agreed.
I'm around like 10,000 maybe.
I agree. I think that's about as far as you can go and start making fun. And then what were you saying? You were saying about the pre-flood. Oh yeah, Egyptians. I agree that like the Egyptian structures, they predate the flood for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they found like 2 inches of sea salt in the pyramid, if I'm not mistaken.
I was just saying, if you were all of a sudden flung and you're just a group of people and you're walking by and in the distance you saw these huge things, right? And you walk up to them and there's no one there, why wouldn't you just be like, yeah, we built these. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, who's gonna know the difference?
Nobody. And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's so crazy with the Aryans. Like, the way I've seen it so far is the Aryans go back to Atlantis, whatever they were actually originally called, and that's pre-flood. And then they like came, maybe some of them, I don't really know how it all worked, right? Like, did they get fully wiped out and then they were inhabited by like the dark skinned tribes or whatever? But like a lot of stories say that like the white skinned people or whatever, the Aryans, that they were there and they got like ambushed by the dark skinned tribes. So the structures were already there and then they went back maybe. I don't really know how it worked, but and then they took them as captives and had them keep building stuff for them. And then they got away. And I don't know. It just seems pretty crazy because then you think about the lost tribes, the supposed chosen people spread throughout the nation, and we've been lied to. Beware of those who claim, but in fact, synagogue of Satan. And
100%.
Egypt's super grabbled, though. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's like they, they even have a god that's I can't remember her name. That's literally, what it describes in the Bible. It says I can't remember. Gosh. I'm losing it's he spread it out the heavens like a tent to dwell in. So it's like he's saying this like physical form, and the Egyptians have this lady laying over, cause it being the dome.
Yeah.
But then they talk about aliens with it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, dude, that's how they try and like dilute the truth.
Yeah, so yeah, dude, I think that I think most of the stuff that we were taught when it comes to history are lies. And a lot of the stuff I think you just don't get caught up on because you're never going to know what really happened. You know what I mean? It's like, the obvious things, anytime they're trying to bring fear. So nukes exist. No, the dinosaurs exist. Like anytime they're trying to bring fear to you, I feel like that's a no, and then anything they're like trying to obfuscate is where you want to look, So
yeah, I agree big time.
Yeah, I agree too.
Both of y'all can answer. This is a tough one. Does the modern day Christian view of hell, is it real?
No, I don't think so. I think
I
the
don't think
Enoch
so.
describes it pretty well.
Well, I can't wait till we get to that part because I got questions about that. But no, I don't believe it's the way they describe it at all. It's a fear. It's a fear thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think they described it wrong, but I do think you don't want to be on the wrong end of things.
Oh, of course.
Definitely. I agree 100%. Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't. Enoch gives you a lot of descriptions. Is that what you said? You like how Enoch describes it?
Yeah, well, so I think the second death is a literal second death. So I think at a certain point there you will be tossed into what is called the lake of fire, but it's not like you're going to be like, oh, I'm burning forever. It's like you're going to pay for your judgment, that was put down on you, and then you will no longer exist. So your choice, your will is to be apart from God. And so because he respects your decision, he's going to allow you to be apart from him. And I think there's a special group who tie themselves to the evil ones that will, when it describes, I can't remember what angel, but he takes him to there and he's like, oh my God, what is this place? And he's like, why, the angel's like, why are you asking? He's like, well, just the pure spectacle, the thought of the pain that would exist in this place. And yeah, when you were reading the other day, you know what I'm talking about? And so I think that the people who attach themselves to that, do these rituals, that do those things, those will be the ones that are chained. And it's the same ones where in Revelations it says those whose names from the foundations of the earth their names were not included in the book of life. So there's those who will be burnt up, their names are blotted out of the book, and then there'll be those ones whose names were never there. They were, and God obviously is judge, so he, a potter can decide which vassals go unto glory and which ones go unto destruction. So that's my thoughts.
That's not bad. I feel you, bro. I'm not like in a place where I know exactly what's happened. Like, it's so hard for me to comprehend like some definitive end, right? Because like I know like metaphysical, there is no end. I think that's kind of like the whole thing where there is no end. Now, do you experience some type of physical I don't know. Like I'm not quite ready to stake to where like there's a physical or like a metaphysical end, if you know what I'm saying. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like maybe there's a spirit, you have some type of like physical. I don't really know. I don't know.
Well, and what I'll say to you is like I feel what you're saying. I think it's almost like what you're trying to say is you'll be conscious that you're not conscious. Like it won't just be like a zero, like some charge will be there, but I think the charge will literally be like conscious that you're not conscious. And I know that almost doesn't make sense, but I think that's the kind of paradoxical place, because it's like I think people choose that. But that being said, that is at final judgment. Like we still got to go the 1,000-year reign and all that on earth. Jerusalem still has to come down. So it's like that is when all things are consummated and the new heaven and a new earth comes. I think that's when those souls will go to rest. But I think they almost get a second chance during the 1,000-year reign. I don't know. Like I hope God is as merciful as he possibly can, but I also hope that he's a good judge and he judges those accordingly. That's how I think about it.
Well, that's the whole That's the whole thing. You can't help it. That's what, like, even when I was younger and I was like, you don't believe in your own book. Haha, it's a fairy tale. But when people would ask me stupid questions like, why would God not ever let everyone go to heaven? I'm like, do you not even understand the concept of God? Like just the concept alone is like that he's perfect. So like that's perfect. So like if you hate God, how could he bring you to heaven? It wouldn't be perfect. Like he has to be perfectly just with his righteous judgment. You know, I never understood that. That's just people scared.
Well, I think that's why people get so confused and they think that, okay, God is this all-loving being. And I mean, I was kind of there before we started talking about Enoch, because I didn't understand like the concept of how you could make like hell when you're supposed to be this all-loving God. And like, yeah, you pass judgment, but like at the end of the day, I guess that's just because like my intentions, even if I was doing something that maybe wasn't morally right, like I still had good intention and I like didn't necessarily mean to do it, or I was ignorant to the fact that I was doing it. So I don't know if people just get so caught up in that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people bring God to a humanistic level. You know what I mean? Like they try to put him in a brain of a human. It's like that doesn't compute. So it's like, you know, they want swift justice as well. It's like that's not necessarily justice.
Well, and I think that's accurate too, because even when we were reading like in the book of Enoch, when he says like when he comes to God, right, and he falls flat on his face because like it's whiter like than bright snow, right, or whatever, the light was so bright. So I think that it's just kind of like unfathomable for us, because it's this like amazing energy that we just like can't quite wrap our head around. So it's hard to kind of, you know, make that leap for a lot of people. I know I struggled for a long time.
Yeah, and I've actually thought about the sun like this. Like I don't know what the sun is. I think it's almost a reflection of God. Like, but in my head canon, how I see it is the sun is literally just a small piece of reflection of God's like brilliance. Because in the new heaven and the new earth, there is no sun. He is the light unto the world. But in the new heaven and the new earth, we have a new body that's pure. And so it's like the only reason why we get this, you know, everyone loves the sun. When you're out in the sun, it feels great. You know, it's like, and there's so many benefits to the sun, but it's like, imagine if instead of just that little dot radiating the heat, like what if it was the entire sky radiating that heat? It's like we literally couldn't exist in that. And so, yeah, that's just kind of random thing where you're talking about the light. I think it's like that. Like imagine looking at the sun, but then times that by who knows, you know, infinite amount, and then stare at it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like one of the things, right? Like, how are we gonna know for sure? We can just put all the breadcrumbs kind of together and just continue to talk about it to see what, you know, what we come up with.
Yeah.
What's up, Mr. Anderson?
What's up, Anderson?
What's up, man? I'm liking the conversation, especially when it's about Egypt and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, tons of gravy. My man's is always hitting us with gravy. If you don't know Mr. Anderson, you're a loser. Oh, go sub to Mr. Anderson. He's got a YouTube.
Thanks,
oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not in my normal spot right now where I do my videos and stuff because I'm working from home now, so I had to bring all my computer stuff back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you're good on the S, bro. I just don't like F bombs, dude.
I got my daughter here anyway, so I can probably only talk for a few minutes, and I shouldn't be cussing anyway. So.
Yeah, you're cool, dude. So you got any intake? Any take? You disagree with anything that we've said? You got any additional take?
Well, you guys are pretty straightforward, and I'm in agreement with most of it. I think what I really agree is when you say it's grappled with Egypt, it's so hard to get to the bottom of stuff. From my experience and what I've looked into, you have Upper Egypt, which is on a fake map lower. Mm-hmm. I mean, Upper Egypt's down here and Lower Egypt's up there on the fake map they give us. And in Upper Egypt, as you go up, there was ancient so-called black civilizations, and they progressed and progressed and progressed until they get to Egypt. I just don't know where the cutoff time is for the flood, though, when it comes to Egypt. But
dude, the timelines are really hard to get. I've already just accepted we're not going to know like the exact timelines of anything. That's how I see it.
Like with Nimrod, he was a so-called Ethiopian, a black Ethiopian. And when you read Freemasonic literature, they basically admit that they stole it. They don't use the word stole, they use the word borrow. They say they use the words directly borrowed from ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. So they're basically admitting that they stole it, and they're the wannabe builders. You know what I mean? Because the ancient priesthood, like of Egypt, those were the real brick masons, or not brick masons, but the real masons. They built the pyramids, like sacred geometry, all that stuff. And
see, I personally don't see it that way. I think that stuff's way, way older. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the pyramids as just a single thing, then maybe come to that conclusion. But then when you start looking at like Machu Picchu and the monolith in Baalbek, Iraq, and all across the world, you start looking at all this architecture that is literally using technology that we like. There's stones that we can't pick up with modern technology with our super big crane. So that being said, I think,
though, right?
Huh?
It could be polymers though, right?
It could, and I'm not stating to know it all. I'm just saying, like, I think that technology makes way more sense pre-flood than for them, like how as they're describing it, they literally, if you believe, the history, they cut that stone with copper axes and copper saws. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that.
Well,
I agree with you that it's pre-flood when it was built. I agree.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, I could tell, like, so he's saying he doesn't agree with the timeline, and that it seems that the original, certainly the megalithic, monolithic structures out of Egypt, they're built pre-flood. It's just the reason that they're so obsessed with them, and they call themselves Mason, is they're obsessed with the literal stonework, right? And they're like, like they like worship the. I think though, like if y'all saw my stream, like I think they think they tie back to those people. So like that's
claim
like,
that, yeah.
It's basically
they may even be.
I think that's nonsense. I think that's give reverence to their little clique, their little cult, because even though these cathedrals were beautiful and incredible, they still don't match what was done by the original builders. I think there was a break in time, and it was probably the flood. Mm-hmm. I think there's a break in time, and they're giving reverence to their cult by claiming that they're the builders going all the way back. But in my opinion, they could never match what the original builders did, and still can't. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And that's just like epigenetics. You know what I mean? Like our human, like you were saying earlier, Austin, that humans before the flood were bigger and stuff. It's like, of course, our genetics was way more pure from Noah, right? And then it's a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Like eventually that DNA is going to fall apart, and at least that's how I view it.
Right, like, dude, you know how we know that, like, according to the scriptures, they came down, they took women as wives, they had giants, and they kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I think that's the same with humans. Like, I think that Adam was much bigger, and we keep getting smaller. Like, it's the same intrinsic nature of the way that the earth works and human, like bodies work, the way they got right, it keeps getting smaller, but it was just different. Like maybe they were their first stage was way bigger. That's what I think. Right? So they were the Titans, right? Like they were super big, like the original, maybe a mile. Like that sounds crazy to people, but I don't. At this point, what does crazy even mean?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I think along the same line.
Yeah,
There
like
would
if
have
they,
to be a lot more oxygen in the atmosphere, or their lungs or something to be different to be that big, though, right?
100%.
might have been different. There might have
Yeah.
been more oxygen too, of course. Yeah, but you're right. They would have to just to sustain life. But I think that they just weren't the same. Like I think that. Have y'all ever seen the movie where they say Matt Damon goes to Mars?
Oh
He grows
yeah.
potatoes and puts potatoes in his anus.
Yeah, the Martian. Like I think that they embedded that there, where they were talking about how the lungs are different and they don't need as much. They were training themselves to not need as much. I think that's them shouting out that these deities, like they weren't quite the same. They didn't need what we need. They were way higher, and they just didn't need what we need, right? So there could be more oxygen, but it didn't have to be. But if the plants were way bigger, maybe there was like way higher levels of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So I don't know. Everything just keeps decreasing over time. Then eventually we hit the end, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's where the Pangea, where it's true is, I think before the flood, because it says the waters came from the deeps as well as from the windows of heaven, like it was torn open. And it's interesting because many civilizations refer to what we modern day call the Milky Way as the Great Rift. So maybe that's where it was actually torn. The firmament was torn, the water came down, and then the water jetted up, and that's what pushed all the continents apart from each other. And that's why we have the map now instead of just one cohesive group. I almost think it was like a circle around the center, which would have been, what is that, Mount Meru or whatever?
Yeah, Mount Meru.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely truth to that. What do y'all think? Y'all think everybody give their opinion. Y'all think Mount Meru may be legit, or you lean towards it not being legit?
I would lean.
I think it's legit.
I think Mount Meru is legit.
Just don't
but
know.
Yeah.
You said you would too, Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, I would lean towards it, but it's just speculation. But
none of us know. None of us.
I guess 51% chance.
All right, I feel you. Well, it just
I
seems
wanted to ask you about what you're saying about original Egyptians being black or being white. I mean,
yep.
And because history's graveled anyway, but the way they make it sound is that so-called white-skinned people came about 6,000 years ago, and that there's no evidence of them before that.
Right.
Do we have any evidence before 6,000 years ago?
Well, the only evidence you're going to get is the text, right? So like that's the hard part here. Is all you're going to get is the text. You can corroborate the text. It's inherently speculative. Yeah. But what they claim is like physical evidence. It's all pseudoscience anyway, right? When they carbon date and all this stuff. But yeah, every nobility class. So when you look at who is Plato anyway, but when you look at like what Plato said and what Socrates said, or you look at like all the different depictions of Atlantis, they described them as having blue eyes and blonde hair. And well, I've seen black people with blue eyes, but I've never seen them with blue eyes and blonde hair and red hair. And they were always.
Those writings are 500 BC supposedly, and likely written after that and backfiled, right? That's only 2,500 years ago that's written.
Right. You can't trust that. It just, there are older depictions of it, I guess this is where you have to go, right? It's like it kept getting tracked down throughout history. And so it's like those people that wrote about, so their ancestors told them this and this and this. That's the best evidence that I've found. I looked into it a lot, and unfortunately, that's not very satisfying. It's the best I've got, but they all say the same thing. They all say that they had blue eyes. Like, and then I blew my mind, like Buddha, right? A revered figure, skinny, fair-skinned, blue eyes. The pharaohs, blue eyes. Well, we know that the original pharaohs, we all kind of seem to agree that was way back further than they claim it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Right. So I think, that's the whole trick. They told you that everybody was dark skinned and then white people came. But if you look at Enoch, it says that Noah came out white. And that was a shocker. So we're the original. So Enoch tells you Noah came out white. And they were like, whoa, what's going on? And he thought, oh, my wife cheated on me with the watcher.
Yeah.
which tells you they knew that the Watchers' races were white, which would be the Aryans. And they say that they were sun gods and that they got diluted with humans and all this stuff. So I would say that those previous people were fair-skinned with blue eyes, and that's why they freaked out when Noah came out with blue eyes and was fair-skinned. And Enoch says he was actually just talking when he came out, and they were like, "This guy's got to be a watcher, right? Offspring of a watcher." So
they said Noah came out white.
Yeah, Enoch does.
And that's written about the first one, like 300 BC or so.
But
well, that's what interests
Grabbler
me.
history. That's Grabbler claim.
Well,
that's what interests me is they say they say that the ark landed in Ararat or wherever it was over there by the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah.
And the Caucasus Mountains is where was the home of the Khazars, basically. That's where they descended from. And so you got Khazars who are claiming to be quote unquote Jayish, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be the seed of Abraham, right? And taking that whole identity as a tool, I would say. They don't really care about the religion. I think they use it as a tool. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think
they have the origins. It's almost as if the origins are them coming down. It lines up with it's almost like they rewrote the Bible for it to land by the Caucasus Mountains, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that has to be. I'm just, the reason why I say somewhere in that general vicinity is because I think at that point the continents were separated, and so they had just access to that area, to Africa, to the north. You get what I mean? And so America was kind of its own separate thing. You see small remnants of them talking about stuff, but I think it's so. I'll give you an example. The Egyptians and the Greeks are very close to each other geographically, right? Yeah. And they're talking about very similar things, like almost one and on, like just different names, same thing, different name, right?
Yes,
but then you get farther away from that area to like the Native Americans, they have some of that same stuff, but it's way more diluted because I think those people groups were less affected by that originally, right? So in North America, at least, you don't have that many monoliths, whereas in South America you have some. But I can't
I don't dispute the flood itself or them coming down from the flood. I'm saying it's quite a coincidence that the people who created a racial supremacy type of nation, to where they invented race. I'll just cut straight to the point.
No doubt.
Vast majority of white-skinned people are not Caucasians. Caucasians are Khazars. They created that title, and they created that so that they could foment their eugenics agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ticket. It's like a white ticket. But a vast majority of white-skinned people are not Caucasians.
Oh, 100% not.
So you have a racial superiority message being driven, and it just happens to be that Noah's Ark landed right where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm not disputing that the real Noah's Ark and all that, but I find that interesting that maybe
in the Bible it doesn't explicitly say where it came down. So when I'm saying it, I'm just making an educated guess. You're probably totally right about it being grabbled in history. Who knows? I just think it's probably somewhere in that general area. I don't think it landed in North America. You know what I mean?
That's just my assumption, because I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what I think. That's what I think. The Bible is grabbled, but the Bible's super powerful and super, super accurate. Like that is like showed me himself through the Bible, and it was an NIV 66 book canon, bro. Like, God is something, right? And this is just they grabbled it, and they changed things, and they took out all these people that would build the timeline. And I prayed about this book a lot, like Enoch. I prayed about it a lot, bro, like a whole lot. And so that's not satisfactory to everybody, right? Because that's anecdotal. But like I'm telling you, I don't just make stuff up, bro. I mean, so that's why I look there first, because if you go to go to Google, it's so grabbled. So like I try to correlate that, and it's straight up, in here it tells you like it's like in 106 or whatever, it tells you like he came out white. So like when he opened his eyes shone like sun. So And then what it says, okay, after a time, I took a wife, Methuselah, my son, and she bore a son called Lamech. Righteousness was brought low until that day. And then he took himself a wife, and she conceived him and bore a child. And then she was born whiter than snow and redder than a rose. His hair all white and like white wool and curly. Glorious was his face. When he opened up his eyes, the house shone like the sun. And he stood up from the hands of the midwife, and he opened his mouth and praised Lord of Eternity. And then it goes on. So he spoke up and just said, he praised God. And he came out white, and they were like, what's going on? They probably
So
thought
in that book right there that you have, does it talk about Lamech putting the sacred information in the pillars? And that's one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But did that happen? Because the way I always find out, what always seems to happen is Lucifer is like the ultimate secret king. And so he's got to take credit for everything. And so instead of it being like, dude, God showed out again, he won again, took care of Noah, and he passed on his great grandfather. They're like, no, we did it. We're the special boys. We took the secret knowledge and put it in there. And I just don't think that that's really what happened. They may have, because there were giants after the flood. So it's just.
I think it's Gnostic nonsense. It's just to give reverence to their Gnostic bullshit crap. You know what I mean?
Have you heard of Kingdom in Context at all?
Say again?
Yeah,
Kingdom in Context.
I was pretty impressed with. I watched a couple of his streams, and I was pretty impressed with him.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the reason why I bring it up, he's actually doing a thing about Babylon too. But one part of the thing he was talking about that I had no idea was about. I think it's called a Vastra. It's like all these like weapons that are shown in all these different cultures and how they were used. But gosh, how was I trying to connect that to what y'all were saying? Dang it, I just lost my mind. I don't remember. I lost it. Maybe it'll come back to me.
No, that's not good. I think that's what always happens. They always take credit where they don't have any credit at all. They're lying. They're little secret kings, and they want to feel special, but they believe they're special. So that's what's crazy about it. They believe the stories, So it's
fundamental mystery school stuff. But I want to know who the original people were, because I know that a lot of indigenous folks are so-called black skin, right, in a lot of continents. And it really comes across like they're not, because no matter who you are, what your skin color is, I'm going to fight against the mystery schools. So I don't care who you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it was taken from them, and that they were systematically. Why wouldn't you want to systematically keep down the people who were once in control of the mystery schools?
I used to think that. I was real big on the only race that can give birth to any race is like a black woman, and these little grabblers with a group that claim that they are something that they're not, and they're obsessed with their type and they're fair skinned. They actually think white people are below them, blah blah blah, and so they tracked it back to fair skin, but they think white people are different than them. That's why they created the idea of race, is to divide people and not find out the importance of blood. They think blood's important or whatever. But the more I look into it, it's like the original humans had darker skin. But all of these civilizations stem from different noble classes that introduced agricultural, and so it's like the fair skinned people were here damn near at the beginning, damn near at the beginning, because when Noah came out, they were like, whoa, this dude's a watcher, so or offspring of a watcher. That means that fair skinned people were already here because he knew what that looked like, and that was pre-flood. So it's right at the beginning. But of course, implicit in that claim is that the original inhabitants wouldn't have been fair skinned, right? Because it was they were different. They were set apart. So it's just crazy.
Well, architecture too, you got it. And I don't say it in a way of these Hotep people who are like, oh, we were kings and everything was a utopia until everybody. And I'm not even saying that the Grabblers intended on taking it from black-skinned people. It's a nation thing. There's no such thing as race. It's nations.
100%.
Tribes. That's all there is. There's no such thing as race. So they invented race so that their nation could prevail while everybody's thinking about race. I was saying that just to clarify. I don't think it was like, oh, there's this dark-skinned nations. Let's take them over because they're dark-skinned. I think they wanted those nations.
Right.
when even in the B'nai B'rith adult Jayish education series or whatever, like their actual official literature, when you look back at Moses, Maimonides, and all these people, they basically acknowledge that they were the Hyksos that invaded Egypt with the horse-drawn chariots and the crossbow or whatever, and they took over Lower Egypt, the Brotherhood, and then stayed there for generations and generations till they were driven out. And it wasn't really an exodus according to them, but that's also Graveler history too. You know what I mean? So
right. So this is the thing. Like, I agree and disagree with you. Like, I think, yeah, like the part that's crazy, or I don't know if I'm necessarily disagreeing with you, but like, I think they didn't just go take them over by force every time. These people like wanted them, like they revered them, like because they came and gave them all these secrets, and that track they were like, look, this is how we know how to domesticate a horse. This is how we know how agriculture works. This is because we come from this special group of people, and we know the secrets, and we've been teaching you humans the secrets the whole time, or like the subhumans, right? And so they were like, they propped them up, bro. Like they were less in number. They were less in number. They didn't go take them over by force. Like they were just like, wow, like teach us more, give us the special. They cucked to them basically, right?
So you're saying there's accountability for them.
Yes.
I think that's
reading the Old Testament. It gets crazy, right? It gets pretty
There
crazy.
always is, yeah.
That's
There's
why
always accountability to have.
that's what they're gonna do with aliens, man. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, we're fancy, secret kings. Look, we can travel the universe. We can give you immortal life." I think they're gonna try to at least make it look like that. Who
Oh, yeah.
knows?
Why wouldn't they? They've been sowing the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about what have they sowed the seeds with so-called viruses spreading through the air with the Outbreak movie and all that crap. I remember in the 90s when what's the name comes in, oh, it's mutating. If you just look, sometimes I think about what are they brainwashing us with, and aliens is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
It's like
yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it's hard to see before the fact, but that's one we can easily see. Like when you look back at the New York thing, you can see from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they were bombarding us with towers blowing up and all that crap. Playing.
Well, how disheartening is it going to be when like, even the diet woke people for years now have been like, there's going to be an alien invasion, or like, watch out for the aliens, they might be demons. Like even the people that are diet woke, and we've been saying it for years and years, and then we're just going to have to potentially sit back and watch it happen anyway, and watch everyone fall for it anyway. It sucks. That's why I'm like, Flat Earth is so important. Flat Earth breaks through all of these spells, and like we got to go try and wake people up because it's obviously coming. We don't know how it comes. They don't even have to say the Earth's a ball to claim the alien thing, by the way, right? They can just recycle the old deception where they didn't think the Earth was a ball, but they still came from the other dimension. They came down. They were the star people.
The ball helps though, because anything goes with the ball. There's millions and billions of planets just like ours, so it's almost like a given that there's other species.
Right? Yeah, it definitely helps. Definitely helps.
It's like
what if people come and say, "Look, they lied to you about where we came from. This is the truth," right? Like I still leave that open because if someone has been so debilitated mentally that you come in and you start to give them truth, even if it's deceptively, they're just so thirsty for truth. If you can give it to them in a way where they can't deny it, they'll just eventually soak it up, right? Like if Trump came out and told everyone the Earth was flat, they would soak it up. They'd be like the president of the United. They would believe it. So when
no matter what he says, they would soak it up.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Well, and definitely since they made it like a false herring already, where they're hiding that aliens exist. Most people believe that aliens exist, and they haven't even came outright and said it. Just like most people, whereas people they believe in a globe because they came outright and said it. So why, those two things go hand in hand.
And that's how it is in 2020 with all the internet and all that stuff. You got to leak it out a little bit and let people do that spiraling crap. Like, oh, they're trying to hide it and this and that. It's so easy to control even truthers now, or what you could call a baby truther or something. Like when the footage of the Chinese people dropping on the ground from the so-called virus there, like that was fear porn for truthers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And they loved it. They gobbled that up, dude.
Dude, yeah, I agree. It's and that's why it's so disheartening to see flat earthers be like, "Oh, flat earthers for Trump." I'm like, if you're not saying that, dude, you don't have eyes to see it all. But I think I'm gonna wrap this up. We're at 2.5 hours. This was awesome, though. We got to do this more often, where we all jump on and chat. Anybody got anything to say? Redford Bear, you've been quiet, but I guess we've been talking a lot. You got anything to say?
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, I just wanted to listen to everything. I don't have a ton of knowledge on that subject and all the scriptures, so it's good to listen. But actually, it's funny because the Q narrative, right, or Q-tards, I have a couple friends that are Q-tards, and a couple months ago, she dropped the flat Earth bomb on me that they had just were starting to talk about it. So I thought that was interesting that.
That's awesome.
Wait, the Q-tards are starting to talk about flat Earth?
Yeah, that was something that they were starting to, I guess think was a legit thing. And I was thinking, okay, well, this is potentially a good thing, but maybe not.
Was it like the whole Q community, or is it like your friends that believed in Q talking to you about it?
It was actually the Q community who she was listening to was talking about flat Earth.
I heard that wrong, but wow, okay.
Who was the Q community? So that's like a zeitgeist that can be hijacked. Just masquerade and tell people that the Earth is flat.
I know. So I don't know. I just thought, well, that was interesting because I'm like, okay, for her sake, maybe this will help her wake up and get out of the Q-tard narrative and realize that it's just literally part of the plan. But then it can be bad for our point because now you're associating flat Earth with the Q narrative, right? And they're not sure.
That's it's possible. It's possible that they absorb flat Earth. Actually, that would be the most efficient way. So I hate to be that guy, but it would be the most efficient way if you could do it very well. Right, but I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm about to head out. I was gonna say, if anybody watches any of my presentations, they're not flashy or anything. But if there's anything that can be added to it or anything that I've said wrong, because I usually cite the sources and stuff on the bottom, just correct me and I'll correct it if you're right. That's all.
Cool. Yeah. Go show love to Mr.
Criticism's a good thing. You know what I mean? Instead of just being left to your own devices.
Drop your YouTube channel in the chat if you can. You should be able to drop links, I think, whenever you want to. And then everybody go show my everyone go show my boy Mr. Anderson some love. He's a legend.
Yeah, I'll give you a follow, man.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
Thank you guys. It was nice talking to y'all. We'll do it again.
Yeah, it's good talking to you, man.
I'm not all distracted and have my thoughts straight.
Right. Much love, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. Any closing thoughts? Anybody else?
Nope. I think that's it.
I'll just say that I appreciate you giving me the time to, throw some of my gravy. I think we all have pieces of the puzzle, and I think when we get to come together and share it, that's where the magic happens. We're more than two of, are seeking truth. I think they'll find it. So
I agree, bro. I
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we'll do it again, man.
Later.
Much love, bro. Redford Bear.
Yeah, just keep crushing and keep doing your streams and really enjoying them.
All right, will do. I'll talk to you, I'm sure, sooner than later.
Sounds good. Okay, have a good night.
Later, love.
Bye.
All right. Let's see here. All right, guys, cool. Yeah, just super chill. No, obviously no specific topic there, but Friday night chill. Figured we'd do it cool. Little kick back, let everybody talk. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me check. I haven't checked on DLive in a minute. Cosmic egg theory is being discussed. That is some very potential gravy. Shout out to everyone that's donated on DLive. Much love. I'm trying to figure out the whole being able to replay the streams on DLive. I guess I have to get approved to be affiliate or whatever. They said it could take up to 90 days. I don't know, but shout out to everybody. Yeah, Mr. Anderson is a legend. Go sub to his channel. I don't know. Hopefully he linked it or links it, but yeah, he definitely drops gravy. He's typically very on point. Vader Bear is always on point too. It's rigged for Trump, no doubt. I agree. Sweet, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Much love, bro. All right, I'm gonna catch up with y'all on the flip side. Yeah. So anyway, like I always say, seek and speak truth unequivocally. Unplug from the box, metaphorical, ideological box. Hopefully everyone understood what I was breaking down with the electrostatics thing. I mean, if you don't, honestly, at this point, I don't know what to say. I'll be frank with you. You may be suffering from like some type of bias you have to the conversation. I can genuinely say I don't have a bias to the conversation. If you can answer my questions efficiently, that would be great. But like, I've been looking into it without bias for a while now. So there's that. I don't want to get all back into it. But again, just what is lightning, right? Can you name any matter that isn't electrostatic? Everything's electric. Everything is connected. Oh, on cue, the light goes out. But look into one of the things that it appears that certain type, like Rh negative does, is like real sensitivity to I don't want to tell a story anyway, so just forget it. Awesome stream. Thank you. Much love. Electrostatic super show. I had a situation where I thought about electricity. All the lights in my house flickered, but I'm just some crazy guy dropped out of college. So, dude, just, seek and speak truth, dude. Shout out to God Rockin', who's a legend who came on here. Shout out to Vader Bear. Shout out to Mr. Anderson. Shout out to Redford Baird. All legends. Everybody in the chat, y'all are legends. All the regulars, I appreciate it. Much love. I didn't see anything that was sent that I'm overlooking, so hopefully I'm not overlooking anything. But yes, so, links in the description if you want to support, like, and subscribe if you don't mind. Go to DLive, WitsitGetsIt, because they're going to try to censor me because the grapplers suck and they're trash and a bunch of secret key and gamma mails, and that's just all that they can do. So I guess we got XRP, Patreon, PayPal, Cash App, Whitsitt Proton Mail. If you want to contact me, that's also the PayPal. Much love. I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. I will try to do the Jesuit stream tomorrow. I actually will try and do it tomorrow. I should have time to put it all together. Of course, we got Glowbuster Sunday, so I should have time to put it all together tomorrow. I have a few appointments in the morning, but I should still have time to get everything together. And, till then, I will catch up with y'all mañana. I think it'll be the Jesuit stream for sure tomorrow. I can't make promises, but I'll try and get it all together. I don't want to do it a disservice. So anyway, catch up with y'all. Peace. So they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?